Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show presented by your favorite show, Massive Leafy. My name is Mark. With me as always is my girlfriend Carol. How you doing, Carol?
I was better until you made that noise. Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is November 16th, 1995. And we have watched yet another episode of Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, we sure did.
Why don't you tell us about it?
I don't want to.
Okay. Why?
Because it was so bad. I don't even want to, relive it. I want it to just be part of my past.
It's one of those episodes where they're trying to do some sort of, social commentary, I guess.
But they fail. They fail miserably.
They're not very good at it. I never seem to understand what point they're trying to make.
Yeah. So the episode starts out with Brandon writing his editorial.
Mm-hmm. It's a very time-jumpy episode.
Everybody is freaking out because he's not done yet writing the editorial, and they need it, and they need it now. And they can't finish the layout of the paper without it. And slowly, one by one, they just kind of drop off like flies until it's just him and Andrea, and somehow he wins and says, "Don't worry, I'll put together the paper. I'll get it out on everyone's desk. It will be fine."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that fits her character.
Right, to not know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But he fools them into letting him close the paper out, which means that he's able to alter it and add.
And that's what he does. He alters it.
He adds something.
Scandalous.
Because,
a photocopy of his genitals.
Oh, God.
Full-page spread.
I think it would be better if it was a full-page spread of his booty, but sure.
Really? That'd be better?
Well, I mean, it's just, easier to take a picture of.
I guess. You can have a Polaroid,
That's true. That's true. We find out that they were supposed to be playing a football game against Shaw the coming up week.
George Bernard Shaw.
But that there was a shooting.
And he said, "I've been dead for many years."
There was a shooting at this high school. It was 2 kids that were in the bleachers got killed.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, Pygmalion is terrible. And they got shot.
We literally have no idea about what happened other than that. They never explain.
Gang violence. That's all they say.
Okay.
They're
so they explain
violence.
that it's gang violence, apparently, and I missed it. But
it's 1992 in California. It's gang violence. I mean, gang violence is still a problem 3 years later, I suppose, in California, but it's not as big of a problem.
The Bloods and the Crips.
Just a scant 3 years ago. Yeah.
You got to be careful about what colors you wear in certain areas, blah, 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 blah. But not in West Beverly.
I got pulled over in Nebraska one time, and the cop was like, "We're just pulling people over, letting them know to be careful not to pick up hitchhikers on the side of the road because there's a lot of, Crip activity around here, Bloods and Crips." And I was like, how embarrassing must that be to get called into your boss's office in central Los Angeles, be like, "Tony, you've been doing an okay job here, but I'm afraid, your drug shipments are a little light, man. We're gonna have to transfer you over to our branch office in Omaha."
Right. It's kind of messed up.
Anyway.
Okay, so kids were killed, and they're canceling the football game that's coming up because it was supposed to be played at Shaw.
Yeah.
And apparently now that there was, a shooting and 2 kids killed, they can never go to Shaw again. I don't know. It's weird. The way they handle this is weird. The school board has to meet about it. I mean, it's canceling a football game.
Like presumably they're two different school boards, right?
Well, I don't think Shaw was in on the decision.
No, Shaw was like, we still want to play. We don't give a fuck that 2 of our students were killed.
Well, yeah, and like you said, that's kind of weird. Like, you'd think they would just cancel it.
You think Shaw would be like, yeah,
they're mourning.
Yeah. We're not in the mood to play a football game less than a week after 2 of our students were murdered.
But instead, West Beverly has to, what's the word for it? Concede or
forfeit.
They have to forfeit the game because the school board voted that they can't go to Shaw. So Brandon decides to take matters into his own hands, as he so very often does.
Yeah.
And he goes to Shaw to talk to the head of their newspaper.
I can't remember his name, but
Jordan.
Jordan? Yeah.
And they both are going to write an editorial. Jordan was upset because all he's heard from Brandon since this happened is about the football game when 2 of his friends are dead.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, come on, cold and heartless.
Exactly.
Who gives... That should have been the attitude the whole time, is who gives a shit about a football game.
Right. Even me, a football fan, can agree with that.
So, they decide that Brandon is going to write a eulogy for the football game, as in a eulogy for a way of life.
I don't know exactly what that means.
But that's what they said. And...
He's going to get Norman Rockwell to do a drawing or a picture, for the painting, like for the newspaper too. I don't understand, like, we're mourning a way of life
because we had to cancel a football game
into
because
the
of
sands of
happened.
history.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
The other guy actually writes a eulogy, for his friends that died.
For the human beings.
And they are going to each run this in their papers together.
Their respective papers. By the way, Shaw can't be that piece of crap of a school, because our high school that we went/go to doesn't have a school newspaper.
Yeah.
But Shaw does.
That's weird.
It didn't look like that bad of a newspaper room either.
Right?
I gotta say. I mean, it didn't have all the bells and whistles. It didn't have the, ass-friendly copy machine that West Beverly's does, but...
Well, it seems like poorly put together, the whole episode, because the outside, okay?
Yes.
Like
the entire episode was poorly put together, yes.
Brandon driving to the school is looking around and sees, torn down buildings from the riots, and it just, it looks all terrible and derelict and stuff, and then he goes into a normal-looking high school.
Yeah. Shaw is apparently in the middle of Watts. I don't know.
Right. It does not make sense. I mean, it looked like one of the worst neighborhoods in Detroit. And that school looked like maybe it was, I don't know.
Berkeley.
Right. Instead of West Beverly.
Yeah.
So... yeah, they decide that they're going to do this, and then Brandon decides to invite...
Who?
Brandon.
Brand?
Yes, because I'm mad at him.
You're going through puberty over there?
When I'm mad at him, he's Brandon.
Brandon. You sounded like Laura Petrie calling for Dick Van Dyke. Oh, Rob. That's a hip joke for all the 90-year-olds that listen to our... to our show here.
Run it by your grandparents, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, he decides to invite the kids from Shaw to their dance.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that's going on in this episode, is the dance is not canceled, even though the dance is supposed to be a celebration of the football game that's not happening.
Pigskin prom.
What the hell? What the hell is that?
I don't know. And who so there are dances that follow sporting events, especially football games. Mm-hmm. But who's like, let's create a dance, but they always have their own kind of theme, whether it's homecoming or whether it's like Snow King and Queen dance, right, or Sadie Hawkins or whatever, right? Who says we're going to have a dance in celebration of a football game whose outcome we don't know? What if there was no shooting and they played that game and Shaw destroyed West Beverly? Then who's going to be like, oh yeah, let's have fun at a dance though?
I don't know. And my question too is, why do you have dances at the end of football games? Aren't the guys tired?
You would think so, yeah.
They don't. I mean, they're still going to want to go dance. That seems weird to me.
How are they going to have the energy to commit date rape in the back of a car?
Right?
They're exhausted.
So the girls are shopping for dresses, and Kelly's dad had called, who apparently has not been in the picture, and he says that he's coming into town that night.
Apparently, we've never seen him. I think he's been mentioned maybe one time. I don't even know his name.
Right.
He's definitely not in the picture.
Well, he says he's coming in town that night. Mm-hmm. So she was apparently the head of the dance committee?
No, Brenda was always the head of the dance committee, but she was on the dance committee.
Okay. So she was supposed to be helping.
Yeah.
And she just bails because her dad's coming. But she does go shopping for a dress anyway.
Yeah, with the other two.
I guess she's going to wear this dress to see her dad. That's kind of cute, I guess, to pick out a new dress for her dad.
Sure.
Sad, but cute. And her dad does not show up.
No, doesn't even call.
Mm-mm. So in, usual Brenda fashion, she was a bitch, like she was the last time they all were going to shop together.
Yeah.
So basically just don't shop together.
Don't shop with Brenda.
But yeah, she tells her, what did she say exactly about?
She was like, don't get your hopes up, or when was the last time you actually saw your father? He's basically intimating that he might not show up.
Which I guess is just Brenda trying to be a good friend and look out for her, but
she wants to prepare her emotions for a throttling.
But it's not helpful.
No, like I said, just let her go through it and then be there for her. Pretty much what Dylan does.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Dylan's there for her.
Dylan handles it.
Because
He says, I'll make you the head of the dance committee.
Because Dylan doesn't want to go to the dance anyway.
Yeah.
So. The
whole time he's been saying he's not. He's like, oh, I'll go to the dance with you, Brenda, whatever. And she's like, you're not going to go. I don't get why are these two dating?
I don't know.
She wants to go to every dance, so much so that she wants to plan these dances.
And he doesn't like to go.
Dylan's like, I'm even less social than Brandon Walsh.
Right? Yeah, it's very weird. They are not a good couple at all.
Not right now, they're not.
And Brenda had to audition bands, and they ended up hiring David, of course. Like, why? Like, Donna kept saying the whole time, just hire David, just hire David. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, he sucked.
Yeah.
But they seem to think that he doesn't suck.
No.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
Do you think... I mean, even the kids from Shaw seemed to like what he was doing.
Yeah, well, I want to get to that, but...
Yeah, sorry. So Brandon invited the kids from Shaw to the dance in his editorial.
Yeah, that's what happens in the editorial, is that he invites the kids to Shaw, and he at first Jordan gives him this like profanity-laden two-page long diatribe about, and apparently also racist. According to Andrea, there's some racism in there.
Wow.
And he's like, hey, this is how he feels. He's angry. He's not wrong. Blah, 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 blah. And then the Jordan comes in and he's like, here's the editorial. And he's like, oh, I already got it loaded up in the computer. And he's like, what? You were going to run that?
Yeah.
He's like, you are naive, Walsh. Here's the actual editorial. It's only 2 paragraphs long. And
no swear words.
And he's like, I'm thinking, what, like... He gave him the editorial. He's like, here's my editorial. Here's my eulogy or whatever to my friends that are dead. Why would Brandon assume that was just a prank?
Yeah, they don't know each other like that.
I don't get it.
Whatever. Yeah, so they run the thing, and he tells Brandon at the time he doesn't think it's a good idea to invite them, but he does.
Yep.
And Andrea is pissed.
Everyone's pissed.
Literally everyone is like staring at him in the halls like, Brandon... Because they think that they're going to get the dance canceled. They don't want the dance to be canceled. The game's already canceled.
David's like, you want me to do my rap music in front of actual black people?
Right? Yeah, it's no good.
People that know the difference? This is not going to fly, Brandon.
So then he gets everybody calmed down because he talks to Jordan. Jordan says, oh, nobody's going to come. I'm not even going to come.
Well, he talks to the principal and basically says, hey, she says... we don't want them here because they just had a shooting.
No,
And
she's black. Okay, just keep in mind.
Yeah, we don't know that we can trust them because there's violence in their school or whatever. And basically, Brandon says it's because they're black and it's because they're poor or whatever. That's why you don't want them here. And she tries to claim that it's just about safety. It's about gunshots. It's not about money. It's not about the color of their skin, which is bullshit.
And she knows it.
And I mean, the people that did the shooting didn't even go to that school.
Yeah.
They were the people that went to that school were the victims of the shooting. And so anyway, she talks to the principal, and the principal's like, none of them are going to come. None of them want to be with you whiteys. And so she says, okay, well, we'll still do the dance. But then Jordan calls Brandon and says, hey, a bunch of guys are coming down, and they've been drinking, and it's probably not going to be good because, like he seems to indicate that a lot of these guys are like a bad element.
Didn't he even say you should get some metal detectors?
Yeah.
Like, what? First of all, you can't just get metal detectors at, like, 7 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Right.
But
let me go to Metal Detectors Are Us.
It's like, so I mean, we're all worried about what's about to happen.
But I don't understand why his whole point was, hey, it's not us.
Right.
We're not the risk. We're not the safety issue just because we're black.
But then he says, hey, guess what? You're in danger because they're coming. But then they come, and there's no danger.
No. Well, I mean, they're pissed.
Yeah.
Like, they're angry at first.
What were they angry about? I don't understand that. I understand they're angry about their friends being killed, but why are they angry at Brandon? I mean, I can understand, too, they're probably mad because they got security for the dance, and the security guard was not letting them in, and they're like, we were invited.
Yeah. They didn't, because they weren't getting let in at first, and I think they said that the security guard was, like, following them around or looking at them or something. But it's like, I don't know. They didn't establish the motivation for their anger very well. I don't think.
No, not just not very well, like not at all. I really don't understand because Brandon didn't try to be mean or diss them or anything.
He's the one that said let him in. Right.
So if they were coming angrily in response to his article, what were they mad about?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't. None of it makes a whole lot of sense to me. But they spent a lot of time looking at the white people's point of view, but they didn't spend a lot of time looking at the black students' point of view.
That's true. And then they just decided to smear it with anger because, of course, they're angry for whatever reason.
Because they're angry black guys.
Ugh. So, yeah. And then during the dance, like, they were kind of starting to fight with not physically fight, but, like, verbally fight with the other football guys.
Well, what happened is that, first of all, it looks like a middle school dance.
Right.
Because it's, or Mississippi in 1958. Because there's a bunch of black guys on one side, and then 15 West Beverly kids, even though they sold 400 tickets,
right.
But they clearly couldn't afford very many extras. So like 15 West Beverly kids on the other side, and there's a gulf between the two of them. And then there's like a little like tussling going on, right? And the security guard's like, break it up, and they come in there and they haul this black kid off of Tony, the blonde football player, big dude. And they're like, get that Shaw kid out of here. That's what the security guard says. And
it's the one black kid that goes to West Beverly.
Everybody else is like, that's one of ours. That's our black guy. And they said that we're just messing around like we always do. And then the Shaw kids are like all kind of pissed off about it and everything. And then Donna and Brenda and Audrey from National Lampoon's Vacation, Brandon's date, they all go up to a black guy each, and they're like, want to dance? Come on, let's dance.
Yeah.
They're like, the only thing that can soothe an angry black man, white pussy.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's not what I think, but what other message can you take from it?
A less crude one?
Are they supposed to be like, this is us coming together or whatever?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sure. Yeah, I saw the way they were looking at Tori Spelling. They wanted to come together, all right?
Well, how could anybody not look at Tori Spelling in that dress?
She is getting better and better looking as this show goes on.
She really is.
She is the standout looks-wise of, or at least the maturation of her looks of all the women on this show. She's gets the most pretty. Anytime there's a dance episode and they let her dress in a nice dress, it's like, God damn, Tori Spelling.
Yeah, she looks pretty good. And Kelly ends up at the dance too because she ends up at the Peach Pit.
Yeah.
Crying in the corner when Dylan shows up there and he's like, hey, what's good? And Nat's like, go over there.
Dean Martin singing a song to her.
Right. So he ends up taking her to the dance, like almost like they're going on a date. But, they're
kind
not.
Of. Yeah, kind of.
Because his girlfriend's there.
His girlfriend started this thing.
And they end up, the three of them, dancing.
They do, yes.
That's great. Oh, Brenda would feel so dirty if she knew.
Dylan so wants to make that happen.
Right. And at one point, there's line dancing.
Yeah. They do one of those things like, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head.
The electric slide.
Sure. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. The electric slide. Or what's the other? The hustle. Yeah. Right. That's one.
The hustle. Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my friend Claudette trying to teach me how to line dance. So I know it's like a thing, but
it's not. I wouldn't call it line dancing.
It is. Everybody's doing the same dance in lines. It's line dancing. But it's not to country music, which is what you usually think of with line dancing.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's to rap.
Okay, yeah. Or disco. I mean, the Hustle's a disco song.
Yeah, whatever.
Rap didn't exist in 1978 or whatever.
At this dance, it's rap.
Yeah.
It's David's terrible rap.
It's rap in quotation marks.
And then some...
Because it's David Silver.
Then some black guy comes up and he's like, I'm going to fix this, and does something to the soundboard that Steve tries to stop him, but he does it, and then he's like, oh.
He's like, trust me.
He's like, oh, because I'm black. Just trust me.
Trust me, I'm black. I automatically know everything about sound engineering.
Right?
That's a young Dr. Dre.
What's funny, though, is he does a thing, and Steve looks impressed, but you can't tell he did anything. Nothing changed.
No.
Not a thing. And then he gets up and starts singing with David.
Yeah. Basically, he just stands there and he's like, oh, yeah. All right. That's all he does because he doesn't know the song. So I guess that's at least realistic. But then it's so funny because the way this is shot, they shoot, you see David and his new friend up there doing their dance and their music, right? And then they cut to the dance floor, which is like the shittiest school gym I've ever seen. That's where this dance is taking place. West Beverly doesn't have a dedicated space for dances. Okay.
Right.
But you can tell that like David singing is an insert shot. They're shot at different times.
For sure.
And it doesn't even look like the dance that they're doing syncs up with the music that's being played at all.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And that's why I'm saying I think this is the worst episode I've ever seen.
Well, it combines two things that this show does not do very well. Social commentary and David playing music and dancing.
Oh, yeah.
So
pick one next time.
Those two things are combined in this episode. It's just not great. And it's not soap opera-y enough.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's a very special episode.
They need to stop with the very special episodes. There are too many of those. Mm-hmm. Just give us some more Kelly and, Dylan fucking around behind Brenda's back.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And Brandon's little flavors of the week.
I do like Audrey from National Lampoon's Vacation, though.
Yeah, she was the only one who said that she liked what Brandon wrote.
Yeah.
He was trying to do a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't necessarily... Like, the one dude at the beginning, Jordan, was like, you don't know. You're not from my neighborhood. You don't know what it's like. And Brandon's like, what's it like? He tries to get some information, and he's like, fuck you, and just walks away. It's like, well, you're not really helping him out, like, if you actually want him to know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it would have benefited from the other people's angle. Yeah. In this episode.
Brandon should have been at that school longer, should have talked to more kids. We should have got more of an idea of what they were going through and how they were persecuted. Like, this tragedy happened at their school. They're victims of it, but because they're black and from a poor neighborhood, they're looked at as the perpetrators. They're looked at as the people in the wrong, even though they're the victims.
Yeah.
So
it's not fair.
It's like it's the same thing. Like they could have made a point about the riots in Los Angeles in that year, or I think 91 actually, saying that hey, these people are being looked at as like the rioters. They're being looked at as like, oh, this is the height of evil or whatever that they're doing. This is the worst thing. But no one looks at the causes of it. Yeah. Why do they feel like this? Why do we see videotape of a black motorist getting the shit beat out of him? And that stuff's happened to these people, the people that rioted. That stuff happened to them their entire lives. Young black kids and young black men getting the shit beaten out of them by the Los Angeles Police Department. And they see that played on the news. And it doesn't matter. The whole world sees it. And that doesn't matter. The cops still go free.
Yeah.
So they riot. That's behind the anger. No one says like, well, maybe the Los Angeles Police Department's the bad guys. They could have juxtaposed those things. They could have taken a lot of angles with this episode that they didn't. Yeah. But instead they made it a very superficial. Brandon Walsh is the hero that the black people need. That's like that every time they try to do like a racial episode, that's what it ends up being.
Well, I mean, but he's not good at it. I mean, most of the time when they have racial episodes, he does something stupid to offend people and then has to fix it.
But he always learns.
So he's getting better. Maybe
like when he dated Vivica A. Fox.
Maybe by the time he's done with college, he'll be a decent person.
We'll see. I don't know. He went to Washington in the last episode that we saw of what's being currently run.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I'm really underwhelmed with 90210.
Well, this episode's not great, but, we're getting... The end of this season is when they graduate high school.
Thank God.
So that episode, the season 4, which is where we kind of dropped in on 90210 before I bought you the seasons on VHS and we started going back through it. Season 4, that was the first year that they were in college then. That's what we were saying. Doesn't seem like it, but it must be.
No. Because they were talking about things that happened the year before in college.
Well, season 4 must begin with them going to college, but these seasons last a long time, so must have maybe in one season they went to college first year, then summer break, then they were in college the second year.
Maybe. But that was our episode.
Yeah, that's you're taking my line. That's the episode.
Hey, and why don't you wrap it up?
Oh, wow. Okay, well, you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. You can go to retrolatefee.com, check out some cool videos, some cool articles and stuff that we write there. And, if you want to do us a favor, the best thing you can do is tell one friend about our show. Give one friend our tape. Give one friend our little web page address and send them over there so they can listen to our shows.
You know you want to.
All right, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.